If you aren't aware already, Xerneas is currently in raids in Pokemon Go. From now until May 18th, you can fight and capture Xerneas in raids. And then after May 18th, Xerneas returns to its magical forest, and we get Yveltal in raids, which is even cooler than Xerneas. Has a better move pool, actually is good in the meta, and has more merch. So, sorry Xerneas, I think we're waiting on Yveltal here. At any rate, this is a Xerneas Raid guide. Basically helping you clean up your Xerneas game to better beat down that raid boss, maybe get some helpful tips on the Duo or the Trio to better take on Xerneas in raids. Sorry I was a little bit late on this video, guys. I was really holding out on Xerneas getting a bit of a move pool update. If you're not aware, it has Tackle and Zen Headbutt as fast moves, which are just really bad fast moves. So I was hoping Pokemon Go would throw us a little surprise, give it Geomancy or something like that. And they didn't, so I had to make the graphs after that, and then I had work, so things got a little bit delayed, but we're here. It's only been 2 days. We can learn a couple new things about Xerneas. By the way, if you are curious about just how good Xerneas could be if it did get Geomancy as a fast move or a charge move, I already did an analysis video on that, so link up above and in the description if you want to see just how good Xerneas could be if it didn't have such a poop move pool. At any rate, let's get on to that counter graph. So here I have a graph of the Xerneas Raid counters here, using level 40 Pokemon, unless stated otherwise, against the Tier 5 Xerneas Raid, all of Xerneas movesets averaged together, using Best Friendship and no dodging. And there also isn't Mega Bonuses applied because Pokebattler.com does not have a very easy way for me to do this kind of stuff with Mega Bonuses applied. And then on top of that, the Mega Bonuses are only active as so long as a Mega Pokemon is active, so it's probably good to know just how good you can do without them. Just know that when a Mega's on the field, you're going to be doing that much better. Now, if you aren't too familiar with my raid graphs here, I'll give you a quick breakdown. The y-axis here is damage per second, so how quickly your Pokemon deals damage to the raid boss. So the higher up you are on this, the faster you presumably will help take the raid boss down. And then the x-axis here is TDO, total damage output, which is the average amount of damage your Pokemon should deal to the raid boss before they get taken out. You can think of it as a more useful metric for tankiness. So basically, the more up and to the right your Pokemon is, the better it's going to be for taking on Xerneas. And who's all the way up and to the right? Well, we got Mega Gengar and we got Shadow Metagross. So who are the best counters to the Xerneas Raid? I don't think you have to look too much further than that. Now, to give a little bit more credence to the DPS and TDO here, I do have a Duo DPS cutoff line, which is a little bit above 25. 25 is theoretical Duo DPS, but ends up being a little bit higher than that in practice because of lag and having to relobby and all that fun stuff there. And then I also have a double relobby avoid TDO line. So basically, if you're to the right of that line and you're attempting to do a duo with a friend of equal or greater power, if your Pokemon are to the right of this line, then that lowers the chances of you having to relobby more than once. And every time you relobby, that's a significant drop in your DPS. So if you're kind of riding that duo DPS line a little bit there, then being to the right of this line can help make that a little bit more consistent. Now, if you are trying to do like a trio or something like that, all the Pokemon featured can do the trio. The trio line is like 17 DPS, and you can see that my graph here starts at 20 DPS. So doing the trio should be pretty easy if you have, good level 40 Pokemon, or some of the better options here at even like level 25.5. The trio should be alive. And if you're wondering about avoid TDO at that, it's a pretty simple math to do the avoid TDO. You just do 100 divided by 6 divided by the amount of players. And then if you're going for a double relobby, you just basically double the amount of players. So if you want a quick napkin math way to piece that together, then there you go. When it comes to Xerneas' best counters, obviously we got, Mega Gengar, and we got Shadow Metagross with the Meteor Mash. But you might not have Meteor Mash on your Shadow Metagross, right? It might not be a thing that's available for you right now. So if you're curious about Flash Cannon Shadow Metagross, it's down over here with the Flash Cannon. Roughly as good as a Cloudy Weather boosted normal Gengar. A little bit worse than level 40, Metalclaw Iron Head Dialga here. So not having Meteor Mash is a pretty big deal for both Shadow Metagross and regular Metagross. If you're curious about regular Metagross, yeah, there you go. It's got Flash Cannon down there. Tied with Mega Venusaur and Shadow Agron. Shadow Agron. It's not bad. I guess it's not a bad option for this raid, as long as it has the right moveset there. But with my experiences with Agron in general in raids, they never do quite have the right moveset. You know, they're up against a dragon Pokemon, they're using Iron Tail. If they're up against Xerneas, I can bet you that they're using Dragon Tail. It's just how Agrons roll. At any rate, yeah, Meteor Mash is very important for these guys, but if they don't have Meteor Mash, if they do have Flash Cannon, they're not really like terrible options for this raid, just due to having Steel-type resistances and Steel-type damage there. Now, if you are blessed with having Meteor Mash Shadow Metagrosses, but you're really not too blessed in the Candy or Stardust department, I do have some nice breakpoints for you. So basically, like level 28.5, Shadow Meteor Mash Metagross is going to be basically as good, actually better than everything else in the raid at just level 28.5. So you could roll in with like a full squad of like level 30 versions of these and be pretty good. But that, of course, is if you have the Meteor Mash on them. If you're going with normal Metagross with the Meteor Mash, 30.5 is kind of riding that Duo DPS line pretty close there. So if you are going with that, then you're probably going to make doubly sure that you've got some Mega Gengar with you to help out the duo there specifically. Now when it comes to the Mega Gengar, Lick and Hex are basically on par with each other. They're both the high energy gaining fast moves for Mega Gengar, so you know, pretty good there. Same deal happens with normal Gengar. This is a situation where these attacks are better than the Shadow Claw by quite a bit. Usually all three of these attacks are like relatively on par with each other, and usually the focus is on Lick versus Shadow Claw. But Shadow Claw is a higher damaging attack when it comes to raids, and in this one we're not getting any effective damage with our ghost type fast move there. It's all about the Sludge Bomb. We want to be using Sludge Bomb, and Lick and Hex help us get to Sludge Bomb much more quickly, so yeah, definitely the move of choice. And then when it comes to the breakpoints featured for Mega Gengar here, it's kind of interesting because level 29.5 is a breakpoint for only Hex, but it's also a significant bulk point for Mega Gengar to help it survive charge moves a bit better. So yeah, the moves are still basically on par here. And then level 25 is a Lick breakpoint, level 24.5 is a Hex breakpoint, so you know, level 25 they're basically the same once again, so I wouldn't worry about having the Legacy Lick or using Hex or not. And then if you do have Shadow Claw as the fast move, and you know, you're not too interested in doing the duo, you're just trying to get the raid in, and you don't want to spend any fast move TMs on Gengar, then Shadow Claw is not that much worse. I probably should have graphed it out and I didn't, but it's not that bad. Now if you're curious about other options, well, here they are. They're featured. But two options I really like are going to be the Roserade and the normal Gengar, because they can benefit from the Cloudy Weather bonus, and they can also benefit from the same type Mega bonus coming off of the Poison Mega Pokemon. So I really like them for that. And then they can get the, you know, the common Cloudy Weather bonus, and then they can also get both the same type Mega bonus for Poison type attacks and the Cloudy Weather bonus to take their damage even further beyond. So if you want some power scaling there, if they do have just one of those bonuses, the Mega bonus or the Weather bonus, I'd say they're roughly on par with a Meteor Mash Metagross. I mean, you can see here on the graph they're obviously a bit worse in TDO department, but their damage, you know, their performance overall, roughly, is pretty as good as this guy. And then if they have the Weather bonus and the Mega bonus, they end up being as good-ish as Shadow Meteor Mash Metagross. They're definitely not better than Shadow Meteor Mash Metagross, but they you know, they're almost on kind of equal footing with it. So if it is cloudy outside and you know that your friends are going to be bringing their Poison type Mega Pokemon into the raid, then these guys can be extraordinarily powerful top performers for this particular raid. You should definitely not count them out. Same thing with Gengar here, just using the Sludge Bomb. You know, doesn't matter if the fast move isn't getting bonused. And if it is with a, you know, Mega Gengar here, then Gengar will be getting its Ghost type fast move bonused as well. So pretty good. And then for another kind of like lesser sub budget option, I do like the Metalclaw Iron Head Excadrill here. You know, level 35.5, so if you caught some weather boosted ones with a 15 attack IV there, you just have to power it up one time. Make sure it's got double steel type attacks. And it's as good as basically anything else at level 40, aside from the very, very best options. And then of course, if you don't want to use Mega Gengar, Mega Beedrill is definitely really good itself. Definitely far less tanky than Mega Gengar is, and because of that drop in its tankiness, it's not going to be able to throw as many charge moves as Mega Gengar is going to be, which is why its DPS kind of suffers a little bit when you'd think it'd be a little bit better because it's using a poison type fast move and a poison type charge move. So that's the reason for the bit discrepancy in the DPS there. And then obviously, as you can see on this graph here, we do have the Mega Venusaur. Mega Venusaur, not using a poison type fast move and not being nearly as cool as Mega Gengar. It's an option. It wouldn't be a bad option if you don't want to use the other Megas, but Mega Venusaur is definitely a choice compared to the other two Megas. Like, you gotta have another reason to be using this thing. Maybe it's your favorite. I don't know. So that about does it for the Xerneas raid. Very clearly an easy raid for you to fell. If you are curious about just how good Xerneas can be with Geomancy, should it ever get Geomancy in the future as either a fast move or a charge move for both raids and PvP, I already did an analysis on that, so link in the description to check that out. And if you are interested about Yveltal, how good it is in the meta, and how to beat its raid, I will be doing those videos in the future. So make sure to subscribe to SwagTips to see that. And if you got any questions on this content, make sure to comment below, let me know what's up, and I'll be happy to help you out. SwagTips. I'd also like to give a special shout out to these Patreon supporters. If you want to support the Swagman on Patreon, link in the description. So who are the best counters to the Xerneas raid?